Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
I'm Erin.
And today we're talking about money. Talking about what our comfort zone is on spending on a bottle, how much we spend monthly, and when we splurge.
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
Today we're talking about money, but before we get into that, we got to get into the first sip.
Yep. This is a segment where we try something we have never tried before.
Completely blind. Let's get into it.
Smells kind of sweet.
Smells really sweet. It has a little bit of like a beer note to it. I'm getting that, like a lager yeasty type of.
I can get yeasty.
Really sweet though, like very, very, very sweet. And when I say sweet, what I mean is like a really like kind of artificial
like
candy, sugary sweetness. Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, it kind of hits you in the back of the throat, but then it softens for me.
Yeah, it swells up with flavor, kind of dies off fairly fast on that first sip actually. Seems like it's a relatively easy sipper, maybe not quite like an intro pour. There's some good flavor there,
but
I don't think
harsh up front.
I don't think the proof is too high. It's kind of hitting me with like a banana runts type of note, or like you get a handful of runts with a bunch of different flavors and you just chuck them in your mouth. That's what I do.
I can get that, but then I also feel like there's carbonation. I feel like what hits me up front as almost painful, but not really, is like it almost
sharp,
yeah, like a carbonation feel. But then once you swallow, it kind of softens. It's pretty good.
Yeah, for me, that runts, that kind of mixed runts notes with maybe like a few more banana runts in there.
Yeah, I can get that. Over
like some of the other flavors, like there's like a red and a purple and whatever other colors are in a runts pack, but
pink
there's like
green.
There you go.
Yellow.
But then there's like 4 or 5 yellows. It's kind of coming across with like a little bit of spice, like a rye spice. I don't know, like we're batch filming a little bit here for full disclosure, so we just had a couple of ryes. This is coming across kind of rye-ish to me with like a really banana runts note. Yeah.
I just got like a glue smell.
Okay, so
that was weird.
Underneath everything, the alcohol is coming across to me with like a little bit of like a nail polish remover type of note.
Yeah.
It's not very strong. It's kind of in the background. It is there though. All right, on the nose, where are you at?
Thumbs up.
Okay.
I liked it.
Flavors?
Just okay.
Interesting. All right. Experience?
Thumbs up. I liked it.
All right.
Overall.
For me, I'm going to give it a thumbs up on the nose, thumbs up on the flavor, thumbs up on the experience. It's good. Like, I like it. I don't love it. There's a few categories in there, like maybe the flavor and the experience are a soft thumbs up.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Okay.
It's good across the board.
Let's find out what it is.
Let's find out what it is, and then we can react to it. So it is Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye. This is an Elixir pick, which is a store here in Nashville, or in the outskirts of Nashville, which is down in Spring Hill, which is might as well be Massachusetts for all I care, but so far away from Nashville. But nonetheless, this is a single barrel pick from a store.
Yeah.
This is a single barrel rye. I did kind of.
Interesting. You did pick up on the banana note.
Yeah, which is a Jack Daniel's thing, and I picked up on rye. Maybe I should have a cold more often. I'm picking up more than I normally do.
He's better at picking up notes than when he is not having a cold.
So let's talk about this.
Okay.
This is, I think they're 94 proof. I think everything in that bottle shape that's a single barrel, non-barrel proof is 94 proof.
Okay.
And then it's about $55 for this. So as far as retail goes, these single barrel ryes are readily available in our market here in Nashville, Tennessee. We're pretty close to Jack Daniel's, so that goes into the equation. But for $50, readily available, how are you feeling about the retail part of the equation?
I mean,
here?
The price is pretty good, and we'll get into this later, but it's kind of in my sweet spot. But I don't know if I'd buy it again.
Well, that's consumer. So
okay. Well, then, yeah, it gets a thumbs up for
on retail.
Yeah.
But on consumer, it sounds like, would you buy it again or not?
It's just okay. I don't know if I would. necessarily. I'd probably pick up something else. Especially if it's a rye. There are other ryes that I like more for the same price.
Yeah, that's fair. I would give it a just okay on retail, $50, even though it is readily available in our market and a lot of markets, I'm sure. The price point for a 94, like a sub 100 proof rye is going to be a just okay for me. And then would I buy it again or not? Just okay. We're fresh off of filming a head-to-head between a couple of ryes that were about 10 or 15 proof points higher than this, and I feel like they drink just as balanced as this did. So if I could spend as much money as this and get something that has more proof and more balance, I would tend to go for that personally. That's our first sip.
Yeah.
If you like this, then definitely check out the video link below for our Patreon. We have 2 extra videos every single week that are basically this first sip segment.
Yeah.
We do that over on Patreon, but
it's a little more relaxed, a little uncut. We're normally in our PJs at the end of the night, so it's very chill and low key. Yeah.
And the bloopers are built in because it's uncut.
Yeah.
And we don't taste on here on the channel. On the public channel, everything's blind, but over on the Patreon, we can actually do requests. We can do samples that we know.
Yep.
So it's a lot of fun to do those videos over there. Check it out in the video description below. We also have blind flight nights that we do where we do live streams, and you can get a flight and join in, and we can do it on screen together. It's a ton of fun in the video description below. Let's get into our main topic, talking about money.
People don't like to talk about it.
People don't. It's kind of a taboo subject, so we're going to take it on.
So we're going to talk about it.
Right on.
Here we go.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
I guess when I think about money and whiskey, the first thing that comes to mind for me is what's your price point, like what's your comfortable price point on a bottle of whiskey?
And that is a completely personal thing. So I'm going to preface this with that.
Really, the whole video. Let's preface the whole video with that.
Yeah.
The whole video is very, very personal.
Right. Because what's comfortable for me to spend on a bottle of whiskey is probably different than what's comfortable for you to spend.
And we have the same budget.
Yeah, we work from the same budget.
Right. So the idea that our comfort level is going to be the same as yours when you have a almost surely different budget is insane to think they would be similar.
So we'll tell you what ours is, but don't feel by any means that that's what you have to spend. But for me, $50, give or take 10 on either side, is kind of my sweet spot.
Yeah. So
the $40 to $60 range, with 50 kind of being like the sweet spot for me is
for like what you would spend on one bottle comfortably. You're going out to the store.
If it's cheaper than that, I'm by all means gonna get it. But if it's a great bottle and it's $50, I'm gonna pick it up.
For me, honestly, I don't think I differ too much at all from that. I mean, I think one thing I've learned through all the blind tastings we've done on this channel is that what I think I need to spend to get a really good bottle of whiskey, that price has come down. And that has been informed by all our blind tastings that you can see. I feel like there's a lot of things in that $40 to $60 range, like Rare Breed Rye, Knob Creek single barrel picks are in that range. In our market, New Riff single barrel proof bourbon and rye. Like, I don't need to spend much more than about $60 to get something that's really good. If I want to have something that's a little bit outside of the norm, I could splurge a little bit and go up to like 70 or 80 and grab something like a limited release Elijah Craig barrel proof or a Stag Junior if I can get it at retail, which is becoming harder and harder to do. But I don't need to step outside of that 40 to 60, maybe a stretch to 80 market for something I'm grabbing to just sip on a regular basis. Now, that's per bottle.
Okay.
But per month, how much should you spend on whiskey? And that's
a question you're going to have to answer.
Well, I think...
Because I would spend $50 a month. I'd get one bottle.
One bottle a month, that would tide you for the whole month.
I'd be fine.
You're good. Yeah, I mean, that's... Honestly, knowing you, that's about how you would go.
Yeah.
For me, I spend a little bit more than that because I like a little bit of variety.
Yeah.
And variety is the spice of life.
Again,
we know that.
This is a personal thing based on your tolerances,
right.
Basically.
So what we spend on whiskey per month is going to be different than what you spend on whiskey per month, because it really boils down to what you're comfortable spending and what your budget allows.
Yeah.
This is literally just whiskey. It runs right through you There's no sense in going into debt
Right.
over it.
No.
And we'll get into that.
And our
but
budget 10 years ago wouldn't have allowed us to spend what we spend now. And our
Right.
budget 10 years from now may not even allow us to, like, it just depends on where you are in life. So,
Right. But I think the most important thing is to make sure you've got all your ducks in a row
Mhm.
on your other fronts first.
Yeah.
Like, make sure you're paying your bills, make sure you're,
yeah.
taking care of the things that you need to take care of. And then whiskey money's extra money.
Mhm.
Like, don't run yourself into the ditch, financially speaking, because you want some hyped up bottle that everybody's posting about on Instagram. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Because, spoiler alert, there will always be another hyped up bottle
Yeah.
that you can get.
Yeah, they're always...
Like next year, maybe when you can afford it, or 10 years when you can afford it.
Or next month.
Or next month.
And not only is there always another bottle, which helps me fight FOMO, the
Yeah.
idea that there always is another bottle down the pipeline,
Yeah.
so you can't have them all. But also, as far as I'm concerned, what helps me fight FOMO too is blind tastings. Doing
Yeah.
the blind tastings like we do here on the channel, like we do on our Patreon, all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you can't buy all the bottles, so buy the bottles you can buy and then start doing blind tastings. Get things that compare comparably to each other and start seeing if it's really worth spending all that money on that $80 bottle that you got, or is there a $30 or $40 bottle that could replace that bottle or come very close.
Or maybe you find you do like that $80 bottle and that's your go-to bottle.
Yeah.
But you know you love it.
Then you can budget for it.
Then you can budget for it,
Yeah.
and then you can buy it.
Speaking of $80 bottles, let's talk about splurging on bottles. Okay. So this is where we probably differ more than any other thing we've talked about.
Probably, but you might be surprised at what I'm going to say.
Okay. Splurging on a bottle. You're going to go out and you're going to buy something special that's going to be your special pour.
Okay.
It's not going to be something you dip into every day
Okay.
or every week even. You're bringing out for special occasions. How much are you willing to spend on a special occasion bottle?
For me, personally, I would feel fine on a special occasion bottle spending 100 to 120,
Okay.
which is probably more than you thought, I would say.
It's the upper end, yeah.
But it's probably less than a lot of people spend. But
Oh, for sure.
For me, that's where I would feel comfortable and okay.
Yeah.
Like not guilty.
Is it fair to say that if you had a bottle that was like a $250 bottle, would it be hard for you to even enjoy it because you know it costs so much?
Probably.
I'm
Probably.
relaying that because I know her.
But that's just me. Like that's my priorities are
Yeah.
a little bit, they lie elsewhere.
Yeah, through this channel, through the local bourbon community, through friends, I've been able to try some pretty crazy stuff over the years. I don't know that I've ever tasted a whiskey that's worth more than about $300. Beyond that, you're going into rarity. Like,
So what's your limit
so I would say
for special bottle?
an absolute very, very special bottle, $300 for me is
Okay.
comfort zone. But truth be told, like 150 to 200 is actually more my comfort zone.
Okay.
So that'll get you into like a Bardstown Discovery series or like an Old Carter if those are available in your market, Foregate, something like that. Those to me are special bottles.
Okay.
When you go beyond that, you start dipping into more paying for rarity rather than the quality of the liquid in the bottle. And this
Okay.
is none of this conversation is centered around the secondary market and the value of things on secondary,
Right.
because those start getting astronomical.
Yeah.
And honestly, when you're in that realm, what you're paying for is the rarity.
Mhm.
You're not necessarily paying for the quality of the liquid in the bottle. You're paying for the fact that you can get your hands on a bottle that you otherwise would not be
Yeah.
able to.
Yeah.
And if that's your bag, then more power to you.
Yeah.
A little aside, I'm really happy sometimes for secondary markets because I'm able to look and see things happen that remind me that other people deal in whiskey in different ways than we do.
Yeah.
So in a secondary group that I'm a part of, I saw a Van Winkle vertical, which is the Old Rip 10, the Lot B 12-year, the Pappy 15, 20, and 23, and the Van Winkle Family Reserve Rye posted.
It's a lot.
It is. So you're dealing with half a dozen bottles.
Yeah.
They posted that and it was for sale for $15,500. And
Wow.
Yeah, and someone
That's a lot of doll hairs.
that's many doll hairs, and someone made a very serious offer at $12,000, and that was rejected. And
Whoa,
they said,
really?
"Yep." And then the seller said that they would, or the buyer, the potential buyer, said they would go up to $13,000, but that was a firm price. They were not
Yeah.
going above 13.
Wow.
And to have $13,000 of disposable income on whiskey isn't something that we can necessarily fathom.
Right.
But for other people,
Yeah.
that's really a drop in the bucket.
And it's a percentage thing. You know,
Right.
like for me, I view it as like a percentage of your income. If
Right.
you make more, then you can allocate more for fun things.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I can't fault anyone for spending
Yeah.
what to me seems like an astronomical amount,
Yeah.
but it may be just, you know, a tiny percentage of their income.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know these people, so I can't judge them.
Right. So, and I think that's a good point too. Don't judge what other people spend.
Yeah.
Just make sure you're keeping your own side of the street clean.
Yep.
You're focused on making sure that you're spending what you're comfortable spending. And there's really no need to stretch beyond that, because there's
Exactly.
always going to be another bottle. There's no sense in stressing, and there's no sense in letting FOMO consume you.
Yeah.
But speaking of staying within your budget and all that
Yes.
stuff, let's get into our other stuff for the week. I
Okay.
think we've covered the financials. Leave a comment below with what you're comfortable spending on a bottle. Like, what do you feel is your comfort zone
What's
for
your
a
sweet
bottle?
spot for like a regular bottle, not a special bottle, just
Yeah.
a regular bottle?
And leave what your splurge price is.
Okay, yeah.
You can let us know that as well. So with that said, let's put the whiskey aside. Let's get into our other stuff,
Okay.
which is also financially related. But
Okay.
I'm going to turn it over to you because you're the CFO of the family.
Well,
So
kind of.
talk to the people about money.
We're gonna talk about budgeting, y'all.
Oh boy, it got really exciting. Everybody's clicking off the video right now.
And
This is good though. Hang on. Don't click off actually, because she's about to drop some knowledge on you that I needed to hear and you might need to hear as well.
So I can't claim this as my own. I think Dave Ramsey might have said it, but I told Josh this when we got married, and I'm gonna tell you guys this. I don't view a budget as a restriction. I view a budget as permission to spend.
Yeah.
Because for us, like, so we use this app called EveryDollar, which is similar to Mint. So if you use Mint, it's very similar to that, where you can almost gamify your budgeting. It's online, and you can change your budget categories. And we allocate every dollar to a category. And once it's in that category, like, feel free to spend it. So for Josh, like, Josh and I both each have our own fun money. We have our family budget. We have to spend, you know, pay our bills. But then we've got some fun money budgeted, and like, that's his money.
Yeah.
Like,
If I want to
it's-
blow it all on whiskey, I can.
it's our money, but it's
She can't say anything about it.
it's his allocated money. It's his permission to spend. So
Yeah.
I see it as freeing, and I kind of love it.
And that wasn't my experience with budgeting coming
Yeah.
in. And you said Mint, and I kind of got a weird look on my face probably. But I tried to use Mint and did not like it at all. I've tried a lot of different budgeting
Okay.
stuff over the years, and I actually do love EveryDollar.
Mhm.
And you can pay like $100 a year.
So there's a free
And it-
version where you can
Yeah.
you can go in and manually add your bank transactions to it, or
Yeah.
there's a premium version where it's $99 a year, and it will automatically feed your bank transactions into it, and then you just drag and drop,
That's the move.
which is
That's the move.
awesome.
Yeah. And it does that for us. So I'm able to go in every single month, and I have my Josh miscellaneous,
Mhm.
and I can see how much I have to spend on whiskey in my Josh
That's basically what he
miscellaneous.
spends it on, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
he can spend it on whatever
you know,
he wants.
Whiskey, watches, shoes, whatever.
Yeah.
Like whatever I want to spend that money on, I can spend it with absolute freedom.
Because we know that everything else has been allocated. We know
Right.
we can pay our mortgage, we can
Yeah.
pay our electric bill. Everything's been allocated. And then this is the extra money that we've decided to spend on fun things.
And I've been in situations before where it's like, I'm going to spend this money and hope my significant other doesn't notice, or
Yeah.
I'm just going to wild out and buy a bunch of stuff that I really don't have the money for.
Ask for forgiveness instead of permission.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah. And that will hold you for a short while, but that leash is very, very short.
Yeah.
And if you want to have a good relationship, it's better to just have it built in. And like now, I can come home with as many bottles as I want to, as long as they're within the budget.
I
She
don't.
doesn't bat an eye at it. This is like, it's a financial tip to check out EveryDollar Or if EveryDollar's not your cup of tea,
you could do a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet. Just
you could check out Mint.
Yeah.
Try different things. It's the beginning of the year.
There are a ton of budgeting apps out there, I'm sure, that we don't even know about.
So it's the beginning of the year here, and everybody's like, oh, I'm going to get healthy physically. Get healthy financially.
Yeah.
Part of that is making sure you're not overspending on your fun money categories.
Yeah.
So honestly, the constraints make the whole hobby a little bit more fun, to be honest. Like, I look in that category and say, okay, I've got this amount of money to spend every month on whiskey. You know, I have to be selective about what I buy. I can't just buy every single bottle I come across. So it makes me think, like, do I really want that bottle, or do I just want it because it's available in front of me?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The constraints make the hobby more fun, even though it is a little bit frustrating sometimes when you run out of your budget and it's not the end of the month and something pops up that you want to buy.
Well, I've always heard that there's, in a relationship, every relationship, there's always like a saver and a spender. And I will dare you to guess who is the saver and who is the spender. If you can't guess, I will be shocked.
Yeah. She's basically, I'm punching holes in the ship as it's floating and we're taking on water, and she's coming behind me and plugging them up.
But you're not too bad.
I think we've gone on enough about this.
Yeah.
Tell the people to like the video and do all the things we can get out of here. They've heard enough from us on financials,
or finances.
That's it. That's the word.
That's
all
the
right.
word. If you liked this video or any of the other videos we've made, if you're not into money, that's fine.
That's fair.
Give it a thumbs up, or give any of the other videos a thumbs up. We do 2 videos a week here on YouTube, and then we also do 2 other videos a week on Patreon. So give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and then go check out our Patreon if you want to see more.
And hit the bell so that you can see our upcoming live streams. We do one a month, and we also do a Patreon blind flight night every month.
We do.
Not every month, every other month.
Every other month.
Sorry. So check that out in the video description below. And until next week, guys. Cheers.
Why do my fingers swell whenever we do these videos?
Mm-hmm.
So cold open. My hands.
Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh. I'm Erin. Today we talking about money.
Money. Money.
I wish you would have saved that for the video.
It's done. It's gone. Sorry.